The third part of the session that we've been going this term with the Sakalarhat. We've got third and the final one, but importantly, hopefully we'll do a recap as well of all of the full sutra. But it's really been beneficial understanding such a beautiful sutra. So hope you enjoy this third session. So over to you, Rajeev.
Thank you. So I think last time have most of you attended all the first two sessions? Is it first and yeah, so that's good. So that's almost here. So last time we actually got to this verse here, which I thought was one of the most interesting verse, whereby in Sanskrit, in vibhakti. And just to give you a little bit of an example, just because I think we've got a little bit of time today. So if we went here in Google and just say declension, so Wikipedia. So declension, as what it says in Wikipedia, is changing the form of a word to express its syntactic function by way of some inflection. So it's taking a word, you have to then put something to the word, and the meaning of the word then changes. So, for example, if you look at in the English, so the dog chased a cat, and a cat chased a dog. And what is happening here is the subject is the dog, and here is the object, the cat. And then exactly the opposite happens. A cat chased by the dog. So now the cat has become the subject, and the dog has become the object. So the wording has changed the other way around. And so then, simple example. Singular, it's girl, but if you say plural, it's girls. So the same word, but just by ending the S, you've changed the connotation. Or the girl's purse. The man. So again, as you can see, this is just by changing something, adding something to the word. So this is in English, so that just puts into context. So if you then say in Sanskrit, that's Latin. So in Sanskrit, there are 7 forms of how you can change the meaning of the word. And okay, it's written here, agent, karta, karman, agent, it's nominated, which means the subject. In other words, I am doing something. So that's the agent. Who is doing something? I am doing something. So the subject. Patient means the object. So very the example. The person eats the mango. So the mango becomes the accusative, it's the object. How are you eating it? By means of something. So this is karan.
Could you just move the table forward slightly so you can get it?
Yeah. So by means is karan. Recipient means sampadan, dative, 4 or 2. Why are you doing this for 4 or 2? So these are like 7 different forms here, and that's putting into context of how Sanskrit on the 7 chain and what Acharya Hemchandra then has done in this. So he's taken this verse and he's used all the 7 and there's 1 8 which is kind of the vocative addressing, and he's composed it into a beautiful verse here. So, in a way, if you memorize this verse, not only are you eulogizing Mahavir Bhagwan, but also what you're doing here is you can start remembering what are the Sanskrit different forms. So, this is another way of learning Sanskrit. If you know this, then it also triggers your mind. Okay, Veera. So, let's just do a recap. So I'm just summarizing here. There are 8 cases, no many cases, so these are 8 cases here. The first case is the subject, Virha, Sarva Sura Surendra Mahito. That's the first line. Vira, Sarva Sura Surendra Mahito, which means Mahavir is venerated by all the celestial beings, and so Vira, Sarva Sura Surendra, Sura and Asur. So these are all the heavenly beings. Mahito means in a pranam kareche. So Vir is being venerated by all the celestial beings. So Vir is the subject here. So that becomes Viraha. So that's so because Badama, the common thing is Vir. And it's like what are you adding to Vir to make it subject? So that's the first one, Viraha. The second case is object. So now Veer has become the object. So that's the second one. Veera Buddha Veeram object. Yeah. Veeram Buddha Sansrita. So now that means learned scholars take Mahavir's refuge. So Mahavir has become the object here now. So that's Veeram. So that's the second one here. So in this way, the whole, it goes by, the third one is Virena. So in Emyasukeche, Virena Vihata Swakarmani Chayo. So Mahavir, by his own self, overcame his own heap of karmas. Bhagwan Sukeru, a karma. And this is one of the main distinguishing things about Tirthankar. We need gurus. But Tirthankar hoy, and the beauty about the Tirthankars is they themselves pave their own path. So what it is said, Tirthankars, they are the ones who say, okay, there's more to life. They go to the jungles, diksha le, and in the past lives they might have had a guru, but in that particular life, they themselves have searched for the truth. So that's really the most interesting characteristic of Tirthankar. Tirthankar everyone think guru hata. They themselves have actually gone to the forest. They got Keval Gnan. They got Keval Gnan thaya pachi they start preaching the religion. So that's it's a great thing. Okay, Bhagwan Gautam Swami hata, the Gautam Swami had a guru of Mahavir Swami Bhagwan. Adeshwar Bhagwan na Pundarik Swami hata ki Ganadhar hata. But Mahavir Swami Bhagwan was not a shishya of anyone. So that's an interesting thing. Koi pa Tirthankar hoy, they in that birth have had no gurus. So that's why Mahavir by his own self overcame his own heap of karmas. So that's quite Virena. So that's the ending is Ena, and that means it's instrumental. How are you chopping the tomatoes? I'm chopping the tomatoes by means of a knife. So if you had a knife, then you have to put the word Ena, Virena, it's by means of. The other case is Viraya is dative. So dative means they have 4 or 2. So let's see. Viraya Nityam Nama. And I think I explained in the previous classes, this is very common. Om Ganeshaya Nama, Om Shivaya Nama. So that means it's 4 or 2. And Naman Kone Karuchu, 2 Ganesh Bhagwan or 2 Shiva Bhagwan. So that's 4 or 2. So Viraya Nityam Nama. So always give obeisance. Yeah, it's great.
Still bigger.
Huh?
Can we keep it? We can't see something.
Everyone's old and can't see.
That's also there, but.
Right. So Viraya Nityam Nama always gives obeisance to Mahavir. So that's kind of the dative case. The ablative case is from. So, and this is one. Virat Tirthamidam Pravrittamatulam. So, and what this is saying is, this incomparable fourfold sun has been established from the time of Mahavir. So this is quite interesting. Bhagwan Parshvanath Bhagavanatha, so tyare he had like suppose Ganadhar, Keshi Swami was his Ganadhar. But all of us here right now, the religion which we have got is from Bhagwan Mahavir. All the previous Tirthankars, their teachings have been lost. Adeshwar Bhagwan, Ajita Bhagwan, because the time span has become so long, so all their teachings have been lost. So the teachings which we have got now in the sashan we have right now, it's Virnu Sashan Chaleche. So we are following the religion of Jainism, but as propounded by Lord Mahavir. So we have Tirthankar kari gaya, but nothing is now available. So that's quite interesting. All what we are doing now, all the religions which are doing, so Veera Tirthamidam, so this fourfold sun, Sadhu, Sadhi, Shavak and Shavika. So that's Veera Tirthamidam Pravrittamatulam, Tirtha. So that's again imaging. So that Tirtha refers to the fourfold sun. એટલે Tirthankar કહે છે. Tirthankar Bhagwan. કે Tirthankar Bhagwan are the ones who established a fourfold sun. The sixth case is genitive. So Virasya Goram Tapo, and that's possession. This is mine. It's again the person's. So it's a genitive case. So Virasya Goram Tapo. Veer's penance was intense or formidable. So that's trying to say the possession is Veer Bhagwan. And this is again very, very interesting. Bhagwan Bar Sarabar when he was in the forest and doing meditation, and at that time, a lot of the evil spirits used to come and heranpan karta tha. Lot of kashtapan aata tha. So during those 12 years, the pains were very, very intense. Bhagwan, tap kero che ghoram tapo. And that's why it's amazing, even when you're reciting it, I'll go to the tune pan judu che. It's like Veera Sarvasura Surendra Mahito Veeram Pudha Sanshrita Veerena Vihata Swakarma Nichyo Veeraya Nityam Nama Veeratirthamidam Pravritamatulam Veerasya Ghoram Tapo. And you can see how that is actually Ghoram Tapo. So even like when reciting it, you are getting that feeling that glow intense. Veerasya Ghoram Tapo. Veere Shri Dhriti Kirti Kanti Niche Shri Veerabhadram Disha. So the last one is Veerasya Ghoram Tapo. Veere. So that end, re is like in wheel or on wheel. It can be that in or on. So what does that mean? In wheel, there is a collection of spiritual wealth, patience, fame, and brilliance. So we can see here, wealth is Dhriti, Kirti is fame, Kanti is brilliance, and Nichaya is collection. So this is a collection. So Veer Masuche, Veere Sri Dhriti, Kirti, Kanti, Nichaya. So Nichaya is a collection. So Veer has got a collection of all these three things. Wealth, and wealth, again, it's not meant by material wealth, it's spiritual wealth. So he's got spiritual wealth, patience, and brilliance. Seventh case. And the last case is addressing. Oh man, oh Lord. So that's it's a way of expressing. So that's a vocative case. So that's this Sri Veera. So that there's nothing else, just Kali Veer. Sri Veera Bhadra Disha. So, O Mahavir, bestow upon me spiritual prosperity in terms of getting liberation. O Veera Bhadra Disha. And this is just kind of, just summarizing in a tabular form. Because we are talking about Mahavir, all these things are one which is used because it's a singular. But if you're talking to two Veer, Be Mahavir, then it would have been different. So Veera would have been referred to these three. And then many people then ask, how do I know whether it's this or this or this? Then in Sanskrit, you have to look at the meaning and the connotation, and then you'll understand whether it's referring to this or this, depending on the connotation of the sentence. And if it was two Veers. And if it was plural, then Veera. So that Veera becomes Veeraha. So that's plural. So that's kind of just basic sense, but it's amazing how that's been composed in this particular verse. So the next verse is Avanitala Gatanam Kritrimanam Varabhavana Gatanam Divya Vaimanikanam Iya Manuja Pitanam Devarajar Chitanam Jinavara Bhavananam Bhavatoham Namami. So Avadi is earth, Tal means bottom, and Gata means being situated in or resting. Kritanam means artificial or made. Akrita means natural, not made. Akritam, natural or not man-made. Bhavan means dwelling of Bhavanpati gods. Angel Devlokma, there are different kinds of heavenly beings. Bhavanapati hoiche, Vaimani hoiche. So these are different kinds of Devlokna heavenly beings here. Iya means in this world, Manuja means humans, Krita means done, Archit is worshipped, Jina Bhavananam Amnama. So what does this mean? I wholeheartedly venerate Jineshwar Bhagwan temples which are either natural or man-made. The Bhagwan Derasar che mandiro che, they could either be man-made, so which apne koi ke apne Derasar bande ho ke koi ke bande ho, but some of them could be natural or man-made. Below the earth, in the dwellings of Bhavanapati gods and in magnificent celestial planes of heavenly beings. So it is possible that you Devlok hoy, suppose you plane che, we are flying in a plane. So you are so rich you got a private jet. But on a plane ni andar, you would actually have a temple. So imagine koi Dev Devi hoy who are so much into religion, ki lokana hoy, to ye lokana potana heavenly je celestial plane che, ema pun ye lokana Bhagwan mandir hoy sake. So this word is actually saying that in the dwellings of Bhavanapati gods, dwellings, ઘર માં પણ જે લોકોના મોટું પેલેસ્ટ્રિયલ કે એ લોકોનું જે પણ રહેવાનું હોય ત્યાં પણ ભગવાનના મંદિરો હોઈ શકે. And the magnificent celestial planes of heavenly beings, as well as created by humans and worshipped by celestial beings, kings of celestial beings, and earthly and the kings. એટલે this is kind of saying કે જ્યાં જ્યાં પણ ભગવાનના જે બધા મંદિરો છે, whether it's on earth or they are in heavenly beings, venerating them. ને આપણે જ્યારે ચૈત્યવંદન કરીએ છીએ એમાં પણ એક નાની વર્સ આવે છે. This is also very beautiful. જંકિંચી નામતિત્તમ સગ્ગે પાયલી માણસલોએ જાઈમ જેને બિંબાઈમ તાઈમ સમય મંદામી. સો જંકિંચી નામતિત્તમ, જ્યાં જ્યાં ભગવાનના તીર્થ છે આપણે નામથી એને બોલાવી શકીએ. જંકી નામ સગ્ગે પાયેલી, સ્વર્ગમાં કે પાતાલ, સો ઇવન બિલો ધ અર્થ. સો વટ up to middle layer છે અર્થમાં. Then there is દેવલોક. But it is said that even before the hellish regions, there is a little bit of a layer which is called Patal Lok. So there is a region which is just bordering the first Narak. So ત્યાં પણ some not very elevated Devlok, so they could be staying below this earth here. So એને Patal Lok કહેવાય, just slightly below the earth level. So ત્યાં પણ જો હોય તો ત્યાં પણ ભગવાનના મંદિર હોઈ શકે. જેમ કે આપણે સત્ય પહેલે માણસ હોય જાઈન જેને બિંબાઈન, જ્યાં જ્યાં ભગવાનનું બિંબ છે, જ્યાં આપણને ઓલું શિખર દેખાય છે, ટાઈમ સમય મંદામી. એટલે આટલું ખાલી શોર્ટ પ્રેયર્સ છે, but if you did it with ભાવ, can you imagine કે અહીંયા બેઠા બેઠા you are venerating all the તીર્થs જ્યાં પણ હોય. અહીંયા હોય દેરાસર હોય, પોટસબારમાં હોય, ઇન્ડિયામાં હોય, આફ્રિકામાં હોય, ગમે તે હોય. With this small prayer you are actually જ્યાં પણ હોય તો this is called ભાવ પૂજા. કે ઘણા માણસો ઓલ્ડ માણસો થઈ ગયો ને કે I cannot go for જાત્રા because of bullshit, but just ભાવથી પણ you are able to give your obeisance. So this verse or even those other verses is amazing કે ખાલી એક નાની વર્સમાંથી તમારા ભાવથી you could accrue so much good benefit. Again, as you can see here, namami, and we saw that કે આપણે ઈચ્છામી, ખામેમી. So આમી આવી કે હું વંદન કરું છું. That gives us the sense I. કે આ બધું હું જે કરું છું I wholeheartedly venerate. It's I, not you, not us, not we. It's I. That's why it's namami. सर्वेषां वेदसामाद्यम् आदिमं परमेशिनां देवादिदेवं सर्वज्ञं श्रीवीरं कृतज्ञमये. So Sarva means all, Vedas means learned person, excellent. Adinath application Adimam, first original or foremost. So you can see Adimam. Sarvesham vedasamadhyam Adimam. So that's the first. Parameshti, supreme souls. Devadidev, God of gods. Highest God in the heavenly regions, Devadidev. એટલે બધા દેવલોકમાં હોય પણ એના પણ જે કિંગ્સ હોય. So this is almost like saying કે આપણે જે ઇન્દ્ર મહારાજ હોય, દેવાદી God of gods, highest gods in the heavenly region. Sarvagna means all knowing. Shri is prosperity. Viram is again accusative form of Veer, Lord Mahavir. And profound meditation. So what does this verse mean? We do deep meditation on Lord Mahavir, who is the best amongst the wise and learned people, foremost amongst the all supreme souls, Lord of the heavenly gods and omniscience. So this is actually giving a description of Bhagwan Mahavir. If someone says, can you give me 3 descriptions of Lord Mahavir? Well, I'm doing deep meditation on Lord Mahavir, and what are the qualities what Lord Mahavir has? Who is the best amongst the wise? આટલા બધા wise people છે દુનિયામાં. Even Acharya Maharaj could હોઈ શકે and all these things, but he's even above them. So he's the best amongst the wise. એટલે એનું જે કેવલ જ્ઞાન થઈ ગયું છે, it's kind of description. He's got કેવલ જ્ઞાન and amongst all the learned people, because there were so many learned people. Gautam Swami, when he came to Lord Mahavir, he was an expert on the Vedas. So that means he was a very learned person. Even Gautam Swami, like જે હિન્દુના ટેક્સ્ટ કર્યા છે, very learned. But still, જ્યારે કેવલ જ્ઞાન થઈ ગયું છે, that's again very it's minute compared to someone who's got કેવલ જ્ઞાન and learned people. Foremost amongst all supreme souls. એટલે બધા souls છે એમાંથી ભગવાન મહાવીર or તીર્થંકર is the foremost and Lord of the heavenly gods and omniscient.
Can I ask a question? You know, when ભગવાન like તીર્થંકરને જ્યારે મોક્ષ થાય, બીજા બધા કેવલીસને જ્યારે બધા મોક્ષમાં જાય, ત્યારે all the souls are at that level equal, right? ત્યારે પછી if you're તીર્થંકર, you don't have like
There's no hierarchy. Yeah.
There's no hierarchy.
There's no hierarchy. So Gautam Swami and Lord Mahavir is only whilst on the earth. Then they're all Siddhanam. They all Siddhs. But even whilst on the earth, they still respect certain integrity. So for example, on earth, suppose Bhagwan Mahavir had got Keval Gnan and Gautam Swami had suppose even got Keval Gnan. So there are 2 Keval Gnans people sitting here, so your knowledge and you're all the same in all this respect. But આને ખબર છે કે આ ભગવાન મહાવીરને તીર્થંકર નામ પરમાં બાંધ્યું છે. So he's got that તીર્થંકર નામ કર્મ, so then they will not, they will respect that. So તીર્થંકર એ પ્રવચન કહી શકે કેવલ ભગવાન in terms of everything else they're the same, but still they do honor that this is a તીર્થંકર and there's a special karma which they bound, they are disseminating religion to the masses. So that's a special તીર્થંકર until they are on earth. But એક વાર શિક્ષિલામાં જાય then there is no distinction.
So you don't have to be a Tirthankar to attain moksha.
No.
You can attain, anyone can attain moksha.
Yeah, as long as you become
And-
Kevali, right?
And the distinction is only when you're in the worldly
Yeah.
And
sort of earth
On the other.
or planets.
Yeah.
But obviously once you attain moksha, everyone's on the
And what you said is a very profound statement, because if you look at it deeply, Jainism is one of the few religions which actually it gives you that confidence. कि हूँ भगवान क्यों छू, I want everyone else to become like me. If you look at most other religions, if you look at the Abrahamic religions, God is the all powerful, the all supreme. So it's, the concept of God is there's someone who is greater and we are all subservient to God. So right now when we are, whether it's Allah, whether it's, so this is a very unique religion which says, yes, I'm praying to God, but not because you're all powerful, almighty, but also I can become like you. So God is saying that you can become the same status as I can get. So don't, and even apna આવે છે apna satyame seja, which means હું આજે તીર્થન કરો, if I'm telling something to you, if I'm explaining this to you, do not take this as gospel truth. Even Bhagavan Mahavir, if Bhagavan Mahavir himself saying, I'm telling you something, do not take that as gospel truth, search truth for yourself. So even he himself is giving you the empowerment, saying, I'm telling you this is the truth, but don't take it from me. You use your own mind, your own logic, and you come to that same conclusion. What I'm saying is the truth. So what you're saying is absolutely true. Apna mind is we all can become God, and that's a very few religions which actually gets to that stage. Yeah, હું તો આ પાથમાં ગયો છું, I reached here, but we all of us can get to that stage. Not even us as Guru, but even animals, plants, and that's even extending to that level. So the next one is Devonik Bhavar Jita. See, this small here is a R. So Bhavar Jitor Jita. So it's sometimes a tongue twister because there is a Bhavar Di Jotir Jita. Tor Jita. So there's two Rs. Mahapapa Pradipanalo, Deva Siddhi Vadu Vishala Hidaya Lankar Harobama, Devosta Das Dosa Sindurgata Nirbheda Panjanano, Bhavyanam Vidatu Vanchit Valam, Shivizaravo Jinaha. So let me see if there's anything to. Anek means many, Bhav means cycle of transmigration, Mahapap means great sins. Okay. So this is saying, oh Dev. So now this is interesting. Dev does not say कि अपने घंटा करण महावीर जी के मानी बदल देव जी. Now this Dev is referring to Lord Mahavir. अपने कहीं बार के अपने के ना देव देवियों छे. So this Dev is not referring to Dev deviyo. Oh Dev, referring to Lord Mahavir, you are like a fire to destroy the great sins occurred over many lives. So this, as you can see, after venerating all the 24 Tirthankars, now couple of verses are just purely dedicated to Lord Mahavir. And it's sometimes there's a little bit of confusion. Some people say either it could have been Acharya Hemchandra, he could have done the first 24, and the remaining verses could have been added by other acharyas. So because the style of writing is a bit different from the other verses. So this could have been added on into the Sakalarhat Sutra. So you are like a fire to destroy the great sins accrued over many lives. And you are like a garland that adorns a lady for attaining liberation. આપણે કોઈના સન્માન આપે છે, you are just like that. કે આજે હું તમને રિસ્પેક્ટ શેના માટે આપું છું? For attaining liberation. So that's the ultimate wealth. આપણે કોઈને કહે, oh wow, કેટલા જો he's such a rich person who has come here. Look at him, he's a prime minister or someone. But so you adorn someone, but not for any material, but for attaining liberation. And so Bhavyanam, so the other two words Bhavyanam, so that's the meaning here. Oh, they refer to Lord Mahavir, you help destroy the 18 blemishes like a lion that destroys a herd of elephants. આપણામાં આવે છે 18 પાપ આપણામાં આવે છે જ્યારે પ્રતિક્રમણ કરે છે ત્યારે 18 પાપ પ્રાણાધિપાત મુશાવાદ અડકદાન ચોથમી મિથુન પાંચમી પરિગ્રહ છઠ્ઠી ક્રોધ સાતમી માન આઠમી માયા નવમી લોભ દસમી રાગ અગિયારમી દ્વેષ બારમી કલહ તેરમી અભ્યાખ્યાન ચૌદમી દેશુન્ય પંદરમી રત્યથી સોળમી પરપરિવાર સત્તરમી માયાનુસાર 18મી ત્વાતશલ્ય. So these are the 18 sins which are hounding all of us through time immemorial. So you help destroy the 18 blemishes like a lion that destroys a herd of elephants. That's why lion is the king of the jungle. Akla mighty elephants, huge. So this is like compared to karma. Ketla બધા જે છે mighty elephants, but just like a lion can they destroy them. So oh Mahavir, you are like a lion. Please bestow the desired fruit of liberation to blessed and souls capable of being liberated. So બસ એને આપણે just praying કે ભવ્યના વિતરાગો વાંચિત ફલમ શ્રી વિતરાગો જીના એ વિતરાગોવન તમે please ફલમ means fruit. So that you can see, please bestow the desired fruit. So you can see sometimes the phalam means fruit of liberation to blessed souls of capable of being liberated. Yeah, so very briefly, these are the 18 sins. Pranatipat, causing violence. કોઈનામાંથી આપણે સોલને to remove, so causing death, so causing violence, pranatipat. Pran, atipat. Pran means the soul force, and you are cutting off the soul force. So that's kind of himsa or causing pain to someone else's soul. Nishavad means speaking falsehood. Ardhadan, stealing. Maithun, engaging in sexual enjoyments. Parigram, adding attachment for articles of wealth. So these are the 5 vrats or mahavrats. Then krodh means angry, man means arrogant or pride, maya means deceptive. You're doing something wrong but with very evil intention. So sometimes you can do, but you intentionally saying, you're premeditated idea, and you're thinking so much. So that's being deceptive, maya. Lobh, greedy, rag means shown attachment, dvesh means hatred. So rag and dvesh comes together in a pair. Excessive attachment and excessive hatred. Kalha means quarreling. Abhyakhyan means false accusations. And this is like very generic. There are a lot of different examples again, filing wrong tax returns. So that's all comes under these kind of things. Okay? You're doing something wrong, false accusations. Paishya means getting tales against others, like backbiting, gossiping. Rati, arati. These are kind of interesting words. Rati means liking, but liking towards wrong things. And so rati means liking, and this is arati means dislike, but dislike towards good things. So this is about wrong things to do, because you are liking to do things, but to do the wrong things. And what you are not liking to do, you're not liking to do good things. So both of them are rati and arati. So being pleased or displeased with trifles, but the actual meaning is rati arati. કે જે સારું કામ કરવાનું છે એ તમને ગમતું નથી ને જે ખરાબ કામ જે છે એ તમને છોડવાનું મન નથી થતું. You just feel like doing the bad things again and again. So rati arati. પર પરિવાર એટલે again પર પરિવાર eliminating others. એટલે બીજા બધાને આખું બધું વાત કરવાની ને બધું is just all again talking bad of others. Maya and Vishavad, speaking falsehood with cunningness. So that's again Maya to છે, but Maya and Vishavad, એમાં falsehood પણ આવી ગયું. So not only are you doing Maya, but then again with Vishavad. And mithya darshan shalya, believing in false doctrines. So that's again quite important. Mithya shalya. The right notion che, you have a total wrong understanding of the right notion. Mithya shalya. So in a shalya case, shalya means a thorn. It's like a thorn. Mithya shalya is a thorn. Because believing in false doctrines. And this is again, many of these things comes under the karma. Mohinya karma. And Mohinya karma is so dangerous. That's out of the 8 karmas, Mohinya karma is the most dangerous karma, because it is said that Mohinya karma શું થાય તો એને પોતાને જ ખબર ના પડી કે હું ખોટું કરી રહ્યો છું. So it's kind of disillusions you. So you yourself, you think you might be the right thing, but you just do totally the wrong thing. I might give you a simple example for this. So for example, when I was young, I used to sort of come here, Capitalo, winter, let's have lots of oranges. Let's eat a lot of oranges because I'm vitamin C must say. So you eat so much oranges that you think it's a great thing I'm doing. I'm really building up the immunity. So in my mind, I was saying I was doing absolutely the right thing. But many years down the line, wife being a dentist, she tells me, "Okay, you've been having lots of oranges, so all the enamel behind your teeth you have eroded because you had so much acid, and you're not, and because you're not washing out your mouth, so all the enamel behind the teeth have all been eroded, and that's causing more damage." So could you imagine that at one point you could easily be thinking, okay, oranges and couch is absolutely the right thing to do. No one could convince me to go to go, and I was doing it for my own health, because my vitamin C મળે તો આ ના થાય. But each કરવાથી the notion was totally different. Maybe it was in balance, I should have done, or you eat oranges and then wash your mouth or something. But that again, Mithya could fall under the same thing. You might be so disillusioned, but it absolutely could be the wrong thing until someone enlightens you. Oh, by the way, what you're doing is the wrong thing. So that Mithya can really take you off track.
You can just reduce it by, you can probably reduce it by just gaining more knowledge, right?
I think so, yeah.
Whether
Knowledge,
it's
guru,
reading,
yeah.
whether it's
Yeah.
to someone else.
Good company, good advice, all that is kind of your good fortune. And that's why they say the Guru Kripa Madiya, the Gurus will be the one who will be able to see through that. So, yeah. So I think it's the last two verses now. Kya to Stapada Parvata Gajapada, Sameta Shailakipada, Srimana Revataka Prasita Mahima Shatrunjayo Mandapa. So it's quite like, so in this one year, we're just looking at this 1 year. Khyat is Khyato. Khyat means celebrated. And after Gujarati word Prakhyat. So Prakhyat means prominent, important. Khyat, so Khyato. Because Khyat ends in and Ashtapad begins with So when you're joining the two words together, it becomes O. Khyato Ashtapada. So celebrated, famous Ashtapad. Now Ashtapad is also another name for Mount Kailash, and it's in Jain kind of. It's a legend has it that there's a temple of 24 Tirthankars which is not visible at present. So right now it's Adraksha થઈ ગયું છે. So this temple, it's in scriptures કે ભગવાન એમાં 24 તીર્થંકરના મંદિર છે, and it is believed કે whoever does darshan ત્યાં ઈ જ ભવમાં તમે મોક્ષ થઈ શકો. So આપણે કહે છે અંકુઠ્ય અમૃત વસે લબ્ધિતના ભંડા શ્રી ગુરુ ગૌતમ સમરી મને માનસિક ગાતા. It is believed that Gautam Swami went to Ashtapad, and Ashtapadમાં આટલા બધા માતા મુનિઓ hundreds of munis તપ કરે છે કે મને બસ because you know કે અહીંયાથી તમે તપ કરશો, if you're able to climb up to Ashtapad, you'll be able to attain moksha. So there will be intense taps. ને ત્યાં ગૌતમ સ્વામી આવે છે, and Gautam Swami is able to climb the Ashtapad purely by holding the sun rays. Like any labdhi કેવી હતી કે almost like sun rays આવે છે, it's almost like he's just holding the sun rays and just easily able to climb the Ashtapad mountain. So ને એવી બીજી પણ લબ્ધિ હતી કે આટલા બધા મુનિઓ જે છે એ મુનિઓ બધા people have been fasting for so long, પછી હવે કે પાણું આવતું હોય તો કે ભૂખ લાગી છે તો એ લખાઈ એક ખીર કે જે પણ whatever there is a food અંગૂઠો નાખે છે આટલા પાત્રમાંથી કે બધાને જમાડવું છે, he just puts his અંગૂઠે ને બધાને he is able to feed all the tapas જે બધા તપ કરે છે ત્યાં, એટલે કે that's what લબ્ધિ. એટલે ગૌતમ સ્વામી પાસે લબ્ધિ ઘણી હતી, he had that powers. And another interesting fact I learned about Gautam Swami was, and we all hope we get a guru like Gautam Swami, because Gautam Swami, e je mansone diksha ape ke aje tamne diksha api didi, it is guaranteed, not even Bhagwan Mahavir had that capability. Bhagwan Mahavir tame ke chalo okay, you become my shishya, there is a possibility you'll get moksha, or you might get it later on. But Gautam Swami labdhi હતી કે આજે તમને ઈ કે okay, yes, I'm your guru, you take diksha from me, you are guaranteed to go into moksha that lifetime itself. Like what amazing labdhi Gautam Swami had, even more than Mahavir Swami Bhagwan. Mahavir Swami Bhagwan kaje ke diksha le, you could or you could not, you could do it in a future lifetime. But Gautam Swami evi labdhi હતી. So it is actually a real desire or wish we can get a guru like Gautam Swami. So that's Ashtapad. In fact, when I went to the States, people in New Jersey, they've actually got a group of people in New Jersey, they've actually sent an expedition to Mount Kailash, Everest Agar, to find out, there could be a possibility, can we find out, is it really sunk underneath the snow or something? So people are really trying hard to see, Aja Derasar je che, Can we unearth it? Can we find it? But right now, for what we know, it's lost somewhere. It was there, but it's not found. Even Abdullah Prema Abu Astapa Girnar, Samet Sikar Satrunjay Tirthasar. So which are the 5 most prominent Abu, we can go to Delwada, Ashtapal, so which is not, we can't go there right now. Abu Astapal Girnar, Samet Shikar, Satrunjay Tirthasar, 5 Tirth Uttam Tham, Siddhigaya Tenikurpram. 5 Tirth Mati, lots of people have managed to get into Moksha. Again, a lot of people have attained liberation from these 5 places. So, Khyato Stapala Parvata. Parvat means Parvato. So, Parvat means mountain. Sameta Shaila Vida. So, Samet means Samet Shikar. Shaila means mountain. Abid means name. Shriman Revataka. Shriman means charming, opulent, most celebrated. Revatak. Revatak is another name for Girnar. So they names like synonyms. Like Palitana and Satrunjay. So many people say that Palitana is actually the name of the city. So the temples is not Palitana. The temples is actually Shatrunjay. But Satrunjay is located in Palitana. And it's also interesting, Palitana naam kya thiya hai? Legend has it that it's come from the Muni many years ago called Pataliputra. And that Muni, any passage, we are talking about many hundreds, maybe I don't know if it's thousands of years ago, but some munis had actually some special powers. And that labdi he had was that mare roj, mare Palitana, Girna, Nabada darshan karwa che. So he used to be able to fly and do this jatra every day. So that's what legend it is. So that's why Palitana has come from the Pataliputra. Rebataka's Girnar, Prasiddha means famous, celebrated, Mahima means greatness, grandeur, Shatrunjaya, Mandapa. So what it says, prominent Ashtapad mountain, Gajapad mountain, so that's another tirth, Samet Shikar, glorious Girnar mountain, great Shatrunjaya mountain, and Mandavgarh. So this is again another tirth which is Mandavgarh.
So Samet Shikar is a mountain.
Yeah, Samet Shikar is a mountain. Yeah. So Samet Shikar is a mountain, Girnar is a mountain. Mandavgarh is again is a mountain. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah, that's again you can check it up. That's a mountain. So now it's looking at the next line here. Vaibhara Kanaka Chalora Putakiri Sri Chitta Kutadaya Tatra Sri Rishabadayo Tinavara Kurvantu Mangalam. So this is Vaibhargiri, name of a mountain near Rajgiri. If you go to Rajgiri, Vaibhargiri, in fact, if you went on a Virayathan trip, they sometimes take you to this mountain, Vaibhargiri. So it's one of the mountains very close to Virayathan. Kanakachal, it is also known as Sonagiri. Kanak means actually gold. So Kanakachal is also Sonagiri or Suvangiri in Bhopal. Arbud means Arbudari or Arbud. Arbud mountain is Mount Abu. So Juna Jamana Mount Abu it used to be called Arbud. So that's again is beautiful in the Aravalli mountain range. In fact, I just recently found out if you went into Google and if you type in Aravalli mountain Wikipedia, it will come saying this mountain range, the archaeologists have found that it's about 5 to 6 billion years old. So archaeologically, geologists are saying this is one of the oldest regions in the entire universe, because if we believe that the Earth, according to modern science, they believe that it was, 6-7 billion years ago. So this is almost as close to what they found archaeologically, that this is one of the oldest surviving regions in the entire world. It dates back to Aravalli region. So the Aravalli region, if you went to, so in fact, yeah, if I just came across that, if you just went into, say, for example, here, and say, the Aravalli range is arguably the oldest geological feature on Earth, having its origin in the Mesozoic area. So it's whatever that area is, but it's billions of years old. So it's one of the oldest geological feature on Earth. Abu again is got the famous Delwara temples. Kumarpal, Vastupal and Tejpal have created some brilliant. How many of you have been to Abu? Yeah. So most of you have been. Yeah. It's just one wonderful temples which they built. Yeah. Chitrakut is mountain situated along the east bank of Chittor region in Rajasthan. Adi. So you can see Kyato Stapada Puravapada, Sameda Shilaga B. Adi in Yavashi, Sriman River, Prasita Mahima, Satrunja Mandapa. Adi means etc. So Rushabh and Adi. So Sriman Revataka Prasita Satrunja. Yeah, sorry, we're looking at this one here. Rishabha, so Adi, that Adi becomes, so Rishabh and etc. So Abadi Tirthankar ma, Adeshwar Bhagwan che, etc. Maybe you have 20 Tirthankars che, Jineshwar Bhagwan, Kurvantu vo Mangalam. So making your, and all that is auspicious. What it's saying is, Vaibhagini, Kanakachal, Mount Abu, Chitrakut, in this and all other pilgrimages, may Lord Rishabhnath and other Tirthankars bestow blessings to you to attain liberation. So, after blessings, so we can attain to liberation by giving, Abadi Jagannatha Tirthankars, may they give us blessings to attain liberations. So that's basically the Kurvantu Vomangalam. So that's really the end of the prayer. So, any questions? I don't know how much time we have? 15 minutes. Yeah. So, I mean, we could do something else. It depends on what if there's any point. So that basically brings the end to this. It's a beautiful prayer. People who recite it in Rag, Do, Bhajav, and as I said, this prayer is particularly recited as a Chaitya Mandan, and it's recited during Chaudas. Chaudas no Pratikaman kare, apde jare Samvatsari no Pratikaman kare. That's this is recited, giving its importance. People do Pratikaman every day. But the Chaudas and the summit, Chomasi Chaudas have ke summit the last Samvat, those are the most important days. So that's the reason why it's a bit long. So that's the time when this is recited as a Chaitya Mandan. But as I said, by learning this prayer or by reciting this, you are actually giving obeisance to all the 24 Tirthankars. બધા 24 ભગવાનની સ્તુતિ આમાં આવી જાય છે.
If you don't have to be a Tirthankar to attain moksha, right? Like even I think Mahatma did attain moksha and Gautam Swami. Do you go through more suffering if you have that Tirthankar Nam Karma before you attain moksha compared to like let's say Gautam Swami or Mahatma Buddha?
I cannot answer that question as an expert, but from what I've heard, and again I could be wrong, but my understanding is, Tirthankar je hoy, anyone who becomes a Tirthankar, there seems to be some kind of rule that in their previous lives they have been to the seventh hell. It's like a mandatory. You have been to the seventh hell, and only after going to the seventh hell you actually can become a Tirthankar, which kind of implies you are going to be a Tirthankar, you are going to be giving the knowledge to all the masses, but you yourself have gone, because you've done such heinous things in your previous life, you've gone to the worst place, you've experienced what the pains are of the worst hell, and your soul has experienced it, and now obviously you've done good work, and so then I'm not sure whether that's true for Gautam Swami and others, is that a rule or not?
Because when we like read, the stories of the 24 Tirthankars, life stories, you hear, I think in most of their cases, they've gone through lots of suffering in their previous lives or current life before they even sort of reach the place where they were at. Whereas you don't necessarily hear as much on, like you don't read as much on some of the other people who...
So see, what happens is, what we know is only your limited life. Bhagwan Mahavir, so 27 bhav hata. There's only 27 bhav after he goes the Samyak tour. So all of us, Bhagwan Mahavir, you, me, everyone else, it is believed that we've had infinite life before. So, and if you again look at in finance, there is a concept called Monte Carlo simulation. So what that Monte Carlo simulation does is, if you want to predict the price of a stock price, like right now, and everything is volatile right now. Interest rates could be different, there could be some shocks coming here and there, COVID and everything. So what people do in the banks is they're called Monte Carlo simulation. You simulate different environment. Maybe there's going to be an earthquake, maybe there's going to be interest rates are going to become 40%, maybe the interest rates are going to become minus -%. So you have all these different scenarios and then you come up with an average. So with that point of view being is that if we have had infinite life forms in the past, it is almost guaranteed that all of us by default have been through all things. We might have all been to the worst of hells, we would have all been in the we would have been the best of heavens. So it seems logical that probability wise, because we had infinite life in the past, we all would have been through all sorts of things, because sometimes we've done great stuff, sometimes we've done bad stuff. So almost all of us must have been through all this life form. So to answer your question, Bhagavan Gautam આપણે આટલું જ ખબર છે, ભગવાન મહાવીરને આપણે આટલું જ ખબર છે. પેલી પહેલા શું થયું we do not know, because we are not કેવલ જ્ઞાની. So ભગવાન મહાવીરના 27 માં હતા, એની પહેલાના ભાવમાં એને શું કર્યું we do not know. It's not documented. ગૌતમ સ્વામીને આટલું જ આપણને ખબર છે કે આટલું જ. એની પહેલા did he go here, did he go, so we do not know. But logically you can think that almost all of us have been in all different phases, but now the thing is we are here now. We are hopefully with wisdom, we want to not go in the lower places and slowly evolve ourselves and go up. So that's kind of the whole point of religion. That, but the point being is, it seems logical that all of us would have been in all forms of life forms.
You know, it's like it's suffering and all that. Always it depends on your karmas, right? So every atma's karmas will, like if you have done some kind of karma, that suffering is going to be proportionate to what karmas you have done. So whether it's Tirthankar or non-Tirthankar, logically it should not make any difference, because karma is the action and reaction is same for everyone.
No, I was just wondering, because you know, like from like various different texts that you read, you hear a lot more like stories about the Tirthankars and their previous
I think
lives.
because that is
and
more
the suffering.
documented, right? That stories
Yeah.
of everybody else is not documented as much, but most of the Tirthankar stories, for that reason, because they're Tirthankars, their stories are more documented. So
And they must be of like greater importance.
Yeah, because they're
in
Tirthankars,
those
right?
lifetimes as such for them to be documented over, let's say, other people's.
Yeah, because Tirthankar is only 24. Kevalis are millions. So they don't have, like Tirthankars probably have knowledge of all the Kevalis. Like they can see their all the lives. But for us, like we just have scriptures to go by, and they have documented only. And even like for that matter, Mahavir Bhagavan આપણે આટલા બહુ ખબર છે. બીજા બધા તીર્થંકર એટલું બધું we don't know.
It's
So
too far
a lot
back.
of it is too far back and lost, probably not documented.
Yeah.
Because every soul has the same journey to make, right? Apart from being Tirthankar or non-Tirthankar, that's the only difference. Apart from that, being a Kevali, you all have to go through that like Gunasthana, Kate, Karma Kapan, Badani, ritual the same much. And hence we have that hope that we all will become Kevali one day.
So I mean, if there's no other questions, then one thing is like, in fact, our youngest son, he actually learned the Sakalarhat Sutra. So I know the theme for this whole SLP classes is from music to the divine.
Bombs are still falling on children in Ukraine. I've been there, and I've seen for myself how the war is tearing little lives.
So you can just see him reciting this.
Sakalarhat Stanam Adhistanam Shivashriya Purpuha Swahatrishan Mahantyam Pranidatmahe Namakruti Dravibhavai Purnasastri Jagarshanam Shetri Kalisha Sarvashnidnarhata Samupasmahe Adimam Prutvinata Madhimam Nishparigraham Adimam Tirthanatham Charushra Swami Namsama Arahantam Ajitam Vishwakam Radhar Bhaskaram Amaranake Kaladarsha Sankrant Jagatam Sobe Vishnu Bhavejanarama Kulya Tulya Jintita Deshmasme Vacha Shri Sambhava Jagatpate Anekantam Tambodi Samullasana Chandama Tadyatmantamanandam Bhagwan Abhinandana Yusakirita Shana Gro Tejitam Rina Kavali Bhagwan Samati Samritanatva Vinodaniva Padma Prabha Prabhudeha Basa Pushmantu Vashya Antarangari Vatneko Pato Padivarna Shri Subhasindrendraya Mahendra Maitangre Namashtarvarna Sankagagna Bhoga Vasvate Chandra Prabha Prabhu Chandra Malichi Nichayotvala Mutir Muta Satyana Ninditeva Shrestava Karamalaka Vatisham Kalyan Kevarashya Achintya Matmeni Savitan Bodhaya Surva Satvanam Paramananda Khandot Vedna Vamuda Satvyaja Mutinishan Shitala Patu Vojina Pavarokarta Jantuna Ankara Darshana, Nishriyasa Shiramana Shriyam Sarjayasva, Vishukar Kihuta Tirkuta Karmanimiti, Srasran Repuja Vasa Puja Panandava, Vimanaswami Novacha Tatakaksho Darshudara, Jayanti Jagajeto Jurner Malya Hetva. स्वयंभूरमनस्पर्धी करुणावसवारिण अनन्तर्जुनं रेचत्तु सकुशीयं कपर्तुमस्तधर्माणां निष्ठप्राप्तौ शरीरिणा चतुर्धामधर्मदेशकानं धर्मनाथमुपासमये सुधासुरवाक्ज्योत्स्ना निर्मलीकृतिमुखा मृगलक्ष्मात्मशान्ति शान्तिनाथजिनोस्तव श्रीकुन्तनाथो भगवान् स्नातो तेषयति सुराचरणं गुरुनाथानां एकनाथोस्तवर्षये परनाथस्तु भगवान् चतुर्धारणभोर्भिः चतुर्धार प्रसाद श्री विलासन वितनोद्वह सुरासुर नराधीश मयूरनववारिदं कर्मद्रुममुल्लनहस्ति मल्लमलयं विष्णुमः जगन्महामोहनेन्द्र प्रत्युष समयपुं मुनिसुतनाथस्य देशमं वचनं स्म युतं तिरुमतामुर्धनि निर्मलीकारकारणं वायुप्रवाहिनमे पान्तु पादनकांशः यतुवंशसमुद्रेन्दु कर्मकक्षोताशनम् अरिष्टनेमिर भगवान् भूयात् अघोरिष्टनाशनः खमचेदनन्दरे च सूचितं कर्म कुर्वति प्रभुस्तुल्यमरुवृत्ति पाशुनाथर्षयस्तव श्रीमते वीरनाथाय स्नाताय भूतस्य महानन्दसुरराजमरालायारुते नमः पुत्रापराधे प्रीचनाय कृपा मन्त्रतारयो ईश्वरबाष्पारद्रयोरत्नं श्रीवीरजयनेत्रयो चेति विजितान्यते च सहस्राधीश सरिता श्रीमान् कर्मधनुमल्लं विमनस्तार्थविरहितस्त्रिभुवनच्युतामनिर् भगवान् वीर सर्वसुरासुरेन्द्रमहितो वीरङ्गुलाय संश्रिता वीरेण विहत सकर्मनिचयो वीराय नित्यं नमः वीरातीर्थमिदं प्रवृतमतुलं वीरस्य घोरं तपो वीरे श्रीधृतिकीर्तिकान्तिनिचय श्रीवीरभद्रं दिश अगणितजगतानां कृत्यमाकृत्यमानं गर्भवनगतानां दिव्यवैमानिकानं यमनुचुतानां देवराजार्चितानं जिनगर्भवनानां भक्तोऽहं नमामि सर्वेषां विदसामाद्य मादिमं परमेष्टिनं देवादिदेवं सर्वज्ञं श्रीवीरजननेत्रयो सर्वेषां विदसामाद्य मादिमं परमेष्टिनं देवादिदेवं सर्वज्ञं श्रीवीरं प्रणतमहे देवो नेकपवार्जितोर्जितमः पापप्रतीपान्फलो देवः सिद्धिवधू विशालगतया लङ्कारहारोपमा देवष्टादशदोषसिन्धुर्गता निर्भेदपञ्चाननो भव्यानं विददाभवान्कृतफलं श्रीवितरागोजिन ख्यातोष्टापदपर्वतो गजपद संमेतशैलाभिता श्रीमान् रेवतक प्रसिद्धमहिमात्रं शत्रुञ्जयो गन्धक वेवारकनकाचलोर्बुधगिरि श्रीचित्रकूटादयस्तत्र शीर्षुबादय चिनवरा कुर्वन्तु वो मङ्गलम्
11 years old.
11 years old.
When was this? Listen.
No, this is about, he's 18 now,
18.
7, 8 years ago. 7, 8 years ago. There's also another one by Mansi Doshi. So if you go here at the bottom, they have put some links here. She's also recited very nicely. So there's a couple of links given over here. I mean, what you can do is like, see. So for example, like if you went here and then sort of say like, Peru, there are quite a few could go here in Gujarat and let's say for example, going to Palitana. So, so this is like Appela Tirthankar Bhagwan Adesh Bhagwan Palitana Noche. Everyone has been to Palitana? Oh, who hasn't? So everyone has been to Palitana. So you know, okay, there's a main temple and there's also Nautuk. So there are also, so from the main path, there are again other smaller place. Nautuk is who is not the Nautuk? You're not the Nautuk. Okay. So Nautuk is interesting because most people, if you're pressed for time, you just go climb to the temple, do Adesha Bhagwani darshan kari, and then you just come down. But what happens is you climb up, and then there's almost like a kind of a detour, and these are all the kind of different temples which have been built, like about 9 peaks here. So you can actually do darshan there and then come down. So these are all the different nine tuks here. And some of the stories are very interesting, how some of these temples have been built. One which I can remember, so I actually forget which one it is, but one of the story is very, very interesting. The story, very briefly, what the story says, I could be a money lender and someone could be borrowing money from me. So some person, he had a big business and he borrowed money from a lot of people. So, and this person, then he had a lot of trade, he ships in Japan, trade, and he heard the news, your ships have now sunk in the ship. If the ship has been sunk, all the people in the town used to come. Hey, what about the money I lent you? Now give the money back to me. So then he could not go anywhere else. So he was in a lot of problems and tension. People were coming, give me money back. So eventually some important person came to this person and saying, Mara paisa kya hamna. So then this person was in a dilemma, what do? I don't have money to pay this person to come back. So then what he decided to say, he was in a small town, Ahmedabad, I know there's some very rich person there. And what people used to do, metaji, so people would deposit the money with those people here. So he actually then wrote a small piece of paper to our Maharashtra demanding the money. Okay, you go to Ahmedabad, a piece of paper to the jao, and so it's like almost me like saying, you need money from me, but I'll just write a small letter saying, go to Nitesh, he's in Ahmedabad, letter up to Rajeev Shah, you have to give him £1 million. Nilesh will read the letter, so this person then goes to Ahmedabad, and suppose Nilesh passes here it is, please give him £1 million, a letter. So this person reads the note, saying, I do not know this person, who is Rajeev? I don't know Rajeev. So then Muni records chopra lagta hoy ki aa mansu naam yahan lekhu che ke nahi. So બધા ચોપડામાં જોયા રાખે છે કે I cannot find this person's name in this records here. Okay, he's deposited £1 million, so I can give it back to him. So eventually he વાંચે છે. Then what he does is he looks at the end of the letter and he sees કે એ લેટરના પાછળમાં થોડું ભીનું થઈ ગયું છે. The letter is a bit wet. So then he actually then thinks that this person who has written this letter must be in serious problem. કોઈ જૈન જ ભાઈ છે. He must be some Jain because he must have addressed Jain name કે કંઈ કર્યું હશે. So Munine ke why don't you do this? Give him the money. What is it like with the money? He's not deposit the money with us. Under my name, take say £1 million, take away from my account, personal account, and give it to him. So what are you doing? This is my money, so you give it to him. So and then that person went away, so he was happy that he's got his £1 million back. After 3 or 4 years, he heard that the ship were actually not sunk, but they were, because of some storm, they had gone in the wrong path. After a little while, the ships actually came back. So he got all his money back, and now he goes to Ahmedabad and goes to Nilesh. Oh, do you remember? I don't know who you are. Do you remember you actually honored this promissory note? I had given a note, promissory note, and you actually gave the money to this third party. So I come to pay the money back to you. So this person is, Nilesh is saying, no, I don't take the money back. I did a goodwill. I gauged it was a Jain brother who was in problem, so it was my honor to help a fellow Jain brother. So I cannot learn. I'm going to give it with interest. I cannot take free money. You help me at the time of need. Interest. So these people are fighting now. This person wants to give money, and this person doesn't want to take the money back. And they're literally almost like in a way of fighting. The people are looking around, what's this wrong with these two people? Then they say, okay, so let's do this. Let's just go and so one of the talks is actually being built out of this kind of money. And you look at this and you tell the children this story, it's amazing what word of mouth is. We cannot even trust anyone else. But and this is not too far along. We are talking about 1700s, 1800s story. So 200-300 વર્ષ પહેલા this is the level of commitment and what amazing કે આજે તો માણસો પૈસા માટે આજે એક પાઉન્ડ માટે ઓલો કરશે આ પૈસા આપવા પણ આવે છે કે મને જોતા પૈસા અને ઓલા લેવા એમાંથી એક one two course built like that. So that's what I'm trying to do with this. When I've been to some of these jatras, I've tried to create this website and try to give some stories so if people go, these are kind of fascinating stories. Sava Som ni tuk. Sorry, yeah. So the tuk is Sava Som. So the two people are called Sava and Som. Sava Som ni tuk. It must be called something else here, but it's called Sava Som ni tuk. Yeah, and then again, if you go to Palitana, I was actually quite amazed. How many of you have been to this Angashali Palitana? You've been there. First time I saw it, I was taken aback. To see a Muslim shrine in Palitana, I was thinking, what's going on here? So it's actually a Muslim shrine here. Just as you went into Palitana, you will see actually Muslim. Durga, ચાદર ચોટાડે અને આ કોઈ લોકોનું અહીંયા people. So now what people do right now, many people come જેને અસ્થમા થઈ ગયો તો they put actually some pumps here કે મને બોલું થઈ ગયું કે I wish I can be good and this is आज of the cradles છે. So people who cannot conceive a child, then many people માનતા માને like a lot of the local people saying oh અહીંયા હું મૂકું છું ને અહીંયા cradles મૂકશે ને કે I wish I can get some મને child થઈ શકે. But it's amazing to see a Muslim shrine in Palitana. And again, if you can just go here to read some of the story, and it's going the time that Alauddin Khilji is probably one of the worst Muslim rulers India has ever seen. The amount of destruction he did, even after the Ram Mandir, I would be surprised if it's this person who is being attributed to destroying thousands and thousands of temples, not only around the north, he was so powerful that he went all the way down to south. All the way, you go to Hampi and Badami and all the south areas, all the temples, Hindu, Jaina temples, the amount of destruction he's done is just phenomenal. And so it's amazing that he was bent on destroying the Palitana temples. And there was another Muslim himself who actually protected, you cannot destroy it. This is a Jain Mata in Ponche. And then when he died, then it's really, his soul is over here. So that's basically, there's some kind of stories based on this. How even a fellow Muslim was wanting to say, this is a shrine for the Jains, and this you cannot touch this, you cannot do this. So in Namatapan there's a Durga, so just amazing, fascinating. Yeah, so this is the Savasuni Tuk, Chowmukini Tuk Keche. So this is the temple built out of those people, Savasuni Tuk. And quite amazing, so sometimes if you're driving the car, you will actually see that peak over here. So many people think, but that's not the one. This is actually the Savasuni Tuk. So that's the highest tuk which people can see, because Adesha Gopani Tuk sits behind the mountain here. So that's actually behind. But it's very, very commonly, when you're just driving through, you'll see this temple complex and you'll see this one here. Okay, yeah, Adesha Gopani Cheche. But that's the Savasuni Tuk. So actually the main Adesha Gopani, the main temple, it's behind this. Yeah, so that's an interesting story on Savasong. So these are all different stories on how again, it's amazing here. Ujam was a daughter of a shed. Dowry masu joye che. So can you imagine dowry masu joye che. And this lady Ujam saying, dowry amount mane kai na jatu mane temple bandhe ko mara name. So can you imagine like what kind of people they were? When your father is a billionaire and they get dowry masu joye che. I don't want any material wealth. If you want to give something to me, just build a temple in my name. And this is one of the few temples, as you can just see here slightly, they've actually got this Nandishwar Deep. Nandishwar Deep is supposed to be, legend has it, it's a different part of, in fact, can you see here? 52 eternal temples. Man-made or eternal temples. So here it's believed there are 52 of these kind of eternal temples. When they're in the past time, Sunday, so it seems that Dev Devios would many times would go here to do the darshan in Nandishwar Deep. So they are supposed to be, so this is the only the temple there which has actually got inside here, they've got this recreation of this 52 of this, and they can look on the Mandishwar Deep 52. It's the 8th island. If I remember, one of them I was saying, it's Jains believe in the middle world there is a concentric center of land and water. So this 8th island is called Nandishwar Deep. And it is believed that after celebrating Kineshwar Bhagwan's Kalyanas, every angels go to Nandishwar Deep before returning to the heavenly abode. So these are all kind of, legends. So you can see how Abadalika could be clear. Took. In fact, this is again an interesting story. Balabai was supposed to be a very rich merchant, Muni or someone like his associate. So, પછી બધું આ બધું કે હેલ્પ કરતો હોય કે why don't you do this કે I'm a very busy man, you become like a project manager કે આ દેરસર કરવા માટે કે તું છે કે તો બધું ધ્યાન રાખજે. So after all the temple was done, તો પછી the set is asking કે તને શું જોઈએ છે હવે after all the effort you did કે set મને કંઈ નથી જોતું પણ મારા નામે એક કરી આપો ને કે તમે તો આપણા સેફ છો મારામાં તો તે તાકાત નથી કરવા માટે તો એ કે why don't you build a temple in my honor, you don't give me any money. So I said, imagine the project manager people can like, yeah, I don't want anything, but you are the ones with wealth, I don't have any wealth, so if you want to give anything to me, make another temple on me on Indian Palestine. So Balabai took this phenomenon. Oh yeah, the main idol in this temple is Godaji. There is also an idol of Mata Marudevi. ઘણી વાર આપણે તીર્થંકર ભગવાનની આપણે મૂર્તિ દેખાશે, but to see idol of Mata Marudevi is very rare. So she can be seen seated on an elephant facing Lord Adeshwar. It is actually believed that Mata Marudevi is the first person in this time cycle to have gone to moksha, even before Adeshwar Bhagwan. And the story is a bit long, but how she got into moksha. Yeah, so of course, Modi took. Oh yeah, this is just amazing again. And I think just like as you would go to the Vatican City or other places and you get a guide, it's just amazing to see if you did get a local person, Palitana Jao, it's amazing to see there are some and you just see a kind of a carving like this, but you wouldn't know Kyama Suche. The eye photo, you can see there is a monkey here. There's a monkey here. The bija pillar ma is it here? So that's a daughter-in-law. There's a snake. There's a snake. I'm both my cards. Snake figure here. And he's the third one. Yeah, neighbor. She's a scorpion. So again, there is another person here. Where's the scorpion? Can you see here? This is a scorpion. And it's kind of just amazing to see. You can again go to the but it's again just can describe the tales. Okay, Sasu wow, neighbor, and the neighbor is the one who's inciting the problems with Sasu now. So the neighbor and then creating so much infighting between hatred and animosity between Sasu and neighbor, and it's just trying to show the karma philosophy. Okay, birth so one is being born as a scorpion. After the anger and growth, she's being born as a snake, the other one is being like a monkey. So just showing how the effects of karma can this like and our scorpion take you like that's a snake. But you're just passing through the temples without knowing what it is, and just amazing to see what kind of history and Sasu and the neighbor know. Oh, this is fascinating murtis. The legend has it Bombay Niche is an Arabian Sea. So these three murtis were, because many people, sometimes what used to happen is that Muslims logo attack karwa jaye, so many of these murtis were put underground. And many of them sometimes what used to happen is they would just take in a crate and throw in the water. Crate ma nakhi de, pani na nakhi de. So these three murtis were actually found from the Arabian Sea.
What is that arrow? Yeah. What's that? Is that like
Kyo arrow?
that music?
Oh yeah, so basically the reason what I've done is that when you're reading through this, you can just click and listen to some stubborn, so it's power. So if you go here and then just click on this music here, you just, so like this can be playing in the background. So basically the idea is you can listen to the music and just keep on reading. So if you read, then you get more power. Moti Shani took. Look, can you just imagine, look at this Moti Shani took. Again, I think Vinod Bhai once actually gave a story that this is amazing. Moti Shah je che. So what happens here, Aaj jagya che, this is the mountain, this is the main Palitana mountain, and there's another mountain here, and there's a big deep canyon here. So there's no way you could build a temple here. So what he had to do is almost flatten the land. Moti Shah had so much wealth, he had to make it so that it's actually flat here. And it just so happened, son and then the fortunes turned, and they also then lost all the wealth. So there's all these kind of different stories you can read about Moti Ba. And it's actually amazing that in fact, that well, there were only, like at that time, there were only two people in Bombay who could go on horse-drawn carts. One was the governor of Bombay, which was a British local, and the other was Moti Shah. So can you imagine that Bombay Makali Beg Janane who were allowed to go on a horse cart would be the governor general and Moti Shah. And so he built this, and then at one point he also lost the wealth. See, and they were trading companies with China, Japan, and England, Moti Shah those times. So that's basically Panch Pandav temple chain. It's amazing to see even some of them, so they believe that there's a connection between the Panch Pandavas. So according to the Jain, they believe that they came to Satrunja mountain and they came to a connection with 20 crore moons, Panch Pandav. So as you can see, Panch Pandav Derasar. And all this is in Nautuk. This is not by the main Adesha Bhavan, this is all in the Nautuk. So, Panch Pandavani Murti Pandai ki chhi, Panch Pandavani. Oh, this is again amazing. Adbhut Adesha Bhavan. So, amazing. It's believed, this is again there. It's made out of single stone. It's been good. Ekad stone, just one big stone mati, aki adbhut ani kirishi. Ne lokane road puja na thati. I think they visit every 12 years, every year. It's mentioned. Yeah, and it is mentioned that Lord Adeshwar's body was Pancho Dhanush. Apne pelam kehta tha ki apne Bhagwan Adeshwar Bhagwan's body was very huge. Yeah. And this is supposed to be in what is the scale 1/500 size. Aaj size che Adeshwar Bhagwan was 500 times bigger than this. So they believe that Adeshwar Bhagwan is 1/500. Ana kata de ekle ke nova Adeshwar Bhagwan chedi se ka. So you can imagine one step of this could be so it's believed that I think they're going to puja road na thati. I think it's maybe once a year they just do Kali Bhagwan Pakshal Karesh. Oh, this is again amazing. Apne Ajit Shanti, how many of you know Ajit Shanti? Apne Ajit Shanti ave che, Ajit na ne Shantinath Bhagwan no prayer ave Ajit Shanti. Now it's actually legend has got it says okay, these two temples here, they were like this temple suppose was on this side here. So what used to happen is, if you are going to pray to this temple here and you do this, your back is then facing the other temple there. Now, if you temple ma kora jao, then your back is facing this temple here. So it apna ma ke ashat na lage ke what that's show a form of disrespect. So it is said, I forget the Muni Acharya's name, but he then recited Ajit Shantinu Svopraboila, and miraculously, then both of them came up next to each other. So it's amazing to see that Ajit Shanti આપણે પ્રતિકોણમાં પ્રતિકોણ બધા બોલતા હોય છે, અજિતના શાંતિના લોકોનો દેરાસર છે.
I think Rajiv's given a good taster actually for, I think it's been what, 10 years since we had a school chapter.
Put the dates.
So we need to put a date and we need to have Rajiv as the official guide for the Japa. It's been over 10 years. We actually organized a school trip to Sametsik, 2013 years in fact. We had a school trip where children and parents went to Sametsik and we arrived there. It was a beautiful trip. It was the first one I did in school here. We had people from, the youngest was 5 years old and the oldest was 75, something like that. So we had a wonderful trip. I think we'll try and see if we can plan another school trip, maybe this time on the Palikana side. Good thing is now we have a Viran Center in Palikana as well, so we'll be able to visit that at the same time. It's a wonderful, really modern eye hospital in Palikana that's been built fairly recently. But look, certainly it's a wonderful insight. I think that, as you said, that website, Rajeev has traveled to a lot of these dates and has put in a lot of effort in things that you wouldn't know. I think exactly as Rajeev says, we normally tend to go these things, we follow the crowd, we do the thing and then we leave. But understanding some of the stories behind it is beautiful. So I think it's something we'll start putting a date in and we'll make sure Rajeev is booked for that date before we go forward. So, but huge thank you to Rajeev for the 3 sessions. Wonderful knowledge. So again, as Rajeev says, if there's any questions, we'll put this on the link to this on the group as well. If you want to go on the website to have a look. We'll continue with this theme next week. We've got Sunday 5 for 2 sessions from next week.